It's September, which means Labor Day, kids going back to school, pumpkin spice, everything, and of course, Apple's fall event. Now, Apple sent out invites for an event on Wednesday, September 7th. Between rumors and Apple's history for such things, I would expect this to be a rather straightforward affair with announcements for new iPhones like the rumored iPhone 14, new Apple Watches, and maybe even a new pair of AirPods Pro. So let's break down everything you can expect at Apple's fall event. But first, I want to go back to that invite, which shows a field of stars or sparkles that make up the Apple logo with the tagline "Far Out." Now, interestingly, some of the invites had an RSVP, so this is an in-person event at the Steve Jobs Theater in Apple Park. It could just be a watch party. This is kind of like what Apple did for the keynote at WWDC back in June. But if this is a live event with a giant keynote screen behind Apple execs announcing products, it would be the first in-person event from Apple since 2019. And I expect the iPhone 14 will be the headliner. Now, between the mountains of rumors from people including reporter Mark Gurman at Bloomberg and analyst Ming-Chi Kuo, as well as 15 years of iPhone launches, there's a lot we can expect when it comes to the new iPhone 14. There will likely be 4 models of the iPhone 14, with rumors indicating that the iPhone 14 mini won't be one of them. Replacing it could be a non-Pro iPhone with a large screen, meaning there would be an iPhone 14 Pro Max and a regular iPhone 14 Max or iPhone 14 Plus. It's going to be interesting to see what Apple actually calls it. Will Apple stick with the name Max and call the new phone iPhone 14 Max, or will they go back to Plus as in the iPhone 14 Plus, or will they call it something else like the iPhone 14 Studio or iPhone 14 Mighty or iPhone 14 Big Boy, or the iPhone 14 Tall, Dark, and hopefully not too expensive? Having a lower cost iPhone with a large screen could prove a big hit for Apple. Time and again, we know that people like big phones, but I gotta wonder, with this new phone in the lineup, what would the pricing look like? But then, there are also rumored changes coming to the inside of the iPhone 14 series. There's a possibility that Pro models would get a new A16 Bionic chip. No big surprise, right? But that non-Pro models won't, and instead that they would stick with an A15 Bionic chip that came out with the iPhone 13 series, as well as it's in the new iPhone SE. And I'm sure there's gonna be some people out there who are outraged, like, how dare Apple? Oh, I can't believe they did this to us. But think about it, the A15 Bionic is already an amazing chip. It's powerful, it's efficient, and has amazing performance. And I think for most people, this would likely be a non-issue. But if the regular iPhone 14 does keep the A15 Bionic chip, could Apple drop the price from $799 down to $749 or even $699? And how much would the larger iPhone 14 Plus be? Like $100 more? So would that be like $799 or even $849? This is where things get really fascinating when it comes to the possibilities. And then there are rumors that Apple might finally get rid of the notch. Rumors point to the notch being replaced by a cutout for the iPhone 14 series. Now, most Android phones use hole punch cutouts in the display to house a front-facing camera. It's a nice, clean-looking compromise that gives you more display, but without having a gaudy-looking notch. And like the notch or not, at least you have to admit that it's an easy way to spot someone using an iPhone. So it's kind of going to be interesting. If there were iPhones without a notch, what would be the new signature? We could see 2 tiny cutouts for Face ID's True Depth camera, one shaped like a pill and the other that's just a plain circle. And like the A16 processor, Apple could just limit the notchless design for the iPhone 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max, leaving the smaller notch that rolled out with the iPhone 13 series on the iPhone 14 and 14 Plus. Now, another upgrade that might be limited to Pro models are some camera upgrades. One rumor I am particularly excited about is the possibility of a new selfie camera. The current front-facing camera on the 13 is okay, but it's still a pretty big step down from the main rear camera. And it would be great to see Apple give the selfie camera a serious upgrade, especially with how much video calls people make nowadays. Other rumors point to the iPhone 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max getting updated cameras, with the main camera sensor going from 12 megapixels currently to 48 megapixels. Yeah, 4 times, right? There are also murmurings, which might be more wishful thinking, that Apple will add a longer telephoto camera to the iPhone 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max models, and that this telephoto camera will be mounted sideways in the body of the phone like the Galaxy S22 Ultra and use a periscope lens. If this is true, it could be what that far out tagline in the invite is a reference to. But let's switch up from the iPhone 14 to the possibility of not 1, not 2, but 3 new Apple Watches. Like the iPhone 14, the next Apple Watch will likely be called the Apple Watch 8, since last year was the 7. But rumors point to a brand new model called the Apple Watch Pro or the Apple Watch 8 Pro. In fact, it's nicknamed the Apple Watch Explorer Edition. Now, the idea behind the Pro Apple Watch would be that it has a larger battery, GPS, and a more durable build. And the Pro model could actually have a larger screen that is close to 2 inches. That's a pretty big watch. And this could be Apple's answer to the recently launched Galaxy Watch 5 Pro from Samsung, as well as devices from Garmin. Now, the Apple Watch Pro would be aimed at people using their watches for climbing and hiking, mountain biking, and trail running. And then there's the Apple Watch SE, Apple's budget pick, which is so ripe for some updates. But let's talk about some new health features that could launch on the Apple Watch 8. The Apple Watch has a long history of adopting features for health monitoring. And according to rumors, the Apple Watch 8 could get a new temperature sensor. This feature could bring fertility planning tools to Apple's smartwatch and even detect fevers. But let's talk about the possibility of new AirPods. Apple first launched AirPods with the iPhone 7 back in 2016. And over the years, there have been several updates, an AirPods Pro model and an over-the-ear AirPods Max model. Rumors point to a new version of AirPods Pro, and these rumors have been circulating for years. Just take that with a grain of salt. So, what would AirPods Pro 2 look like? Well, they could have a more discreet form factor, a stem-free design, and look similar to the Beats Studio Buds. The new pods could also support fitness features and even lossless audios. But now, I want to hear from you. What are you hoping for from the Apple September 7th event? Throw your thoughts in the comments. Also, if you want to know more about what we want for the iPhone 14, check out my iPhone 14 wishlist video. Also, make sure you subscribe to All Things CNET for the latest on the Apple event and all the new goodies they announce at the event. Last, we do these videos covering Apple stuff every week. Let us know what topics you want us to cover, or if you like what you see, give us a thumbs up. Thank you for watching.